So I've sold a load of positions in my trading 2 and 2 portfolio. I said I'd cover what I've sold, why I've sold it, what I've done with the money and all that sort of good stuff. Now, first of all, this is right for my personal circumstances. This is my approach to investing. You shouldn't blindly copy me in any way, and should not be construed as financial advice. But let's get into the portfolio and look at what changes I've made and why I've done them. Right, so here we are. Here's a trading 2 and 2 portfolio. I'm at £151,000 now. Over the course of last year, it's up 18%. Now, when you get above six figures, that represents a £22,000 gain, which is ridiculous. I can't believe it. That is nearly encroaching onto minimum wage I've made just for holding my portfolio. When I combine that with my pension, I've made more. I've made knocking on the door of average wage in the UK just by holding investments, which I've done in my pension for decades and in trading 2 and 2 for the last 6 years. So once we've gone through all the positions I've sold, I'll show you what the rest of the portfolio looks like. But let's get into the first one. So the first one that I sold is my biotech ETF. This is ticker symbol BTEE. Now, I'm not saying again that there's anything wrong with this whatsoever, but for me personally, this is sort of overexposure. It is only a smaller amount. It was about £5,000. It got split up into two different sales. They do that sometimes in trading 2 and 2. You got to match buyers and sellers. Now, like I say, there's nothing wrong with this fund whatsoever. I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not right for me and my portfolio. So it's overexposure into healthcare, I suppose, within the US very specifically. I have talked previously about why I bought it. It was heavily influenced by Andrew Craig, but it wasn't the right thing to do. Now, I sold it, as you can see here, £600 up. So it went through in two transactions, £2,400 each. So I had around £5,500 in here. Each one of those was £600 up. So that represented around a 30 to 35% gain into that investment. I sold it out and I put it into my old world. So that was an additional £5,500 going into my old world. Now, markets are at all-time highs at the moment, of course. But what I've done is I've banked that gain and put it into my old world. Second one I sold was my NASDAQ EQQQ. NASDAQ, for those that don't know, is the top 100 tech companies in the US. It's a highly volatile fund. It has gone up way above the S&P 500 during good times, but it goes down way less than the S&P 500 goes down in bad times. So who knows if that's going to continue going forward. Tech obviously has been brilliant for the last couple of decades. The S&P 500 has been driven by tech, but it gave me overexposure into those specific tech businesses within my S&P 500. Some people, that's a good thing. For others, it might not be the case. Now, I used the money from my Pepsi sale to buy this. It was around £2,000. Well, yeah, it was £2,000. Pepsi was just, I held it for 6 years. It was 10% down. And I didn't see, my view, it would be outperforming a simple old world. So I sold Pepsi. I bought the EQQQ. I actually resulted in a 10% gain in that, which meant I'm net even on my money, on my £2,000 that was in Pepsi, then in the NASDAQ 100. All sold now. I've come out net even. That £2,000 went into my old world. The next one's Google. This is one that I've held for a long time. I've held it since 2000. I did a couple of years ago cut it in half, took some gains while it was around 100% up. Now, last week when I sold it, it was around 200% up. So you can see here I made £2,395 by holding Google, right? So 3,754 in here meant on a £150,000 portfolio, it was a couple of percent, right? It was a couple percent allocation into my portfolio. However, because I also hold the all world, because I also hold the S&P 500, that meant that I was very heavily invested into Google. It was far above and beyond an allocation that I was relatively comfortable with. I am not saying that I think that Google is going to go down from here. Who knows what's going to happen with it? For my risk tolerance and comfort, I am happy to take a £2,400 gain, bank it, and put it into, guess where? My old world. Now, a lot of the reason I'm doing some of this is just to simplify the portfolio. I've been very fortunate to get some significant gains across a number of positions. The right thing for me to do at this time is to bank those gains and put them into something that I don't necessarily have to think about too much. I want much more of my allocation into my old world. I've always talked about this, and I have felt that it is a little bit lacking in terms of the amount of capital that I've got invested into it. And that's why I've made some of these changes. Next one then I sold was Apple. Again, one that I've held for a number of years. It was the first investment I ever bought back in 2020. It was £20. That was in my general invest account. So I had to move that across. I saw some good gains within that. I did put more into it, a few £100 into it. I probably ended up 20-30% up. I'm guessing. I can't remember. I sold it and moved it into my stocks and shares ISA, rebought it, and I've dripped into it. It's another one that I cut in half about a year ago, and I banked around 60% gains at that point. Apple hasn't had the best year versus some other stocks and ETFs, if we're honest, over the course of the last 12 months. But I've taken a £1,000 bank, which is around 40-odd%. I've banked that and I've put that into, you guessed it, my old world. So we're up to a good few grand now that has been taken out of individual businesses and put into something that I'm much more comfortable with. Just in case you're wondering, the old world that I hold is FTWG. That's the distribution version of Invesco. That means it pays out dividends. So I'm still going to get dividends going forward. They're going to come in on a quarterly basis from that fund, but I am going to get less of them, having sold out of quite a few businesses that did pay dividends to me in the past. And the last one that I sold out of was Microsoft. Again, one that I've held for a long time. Microsoft has done brilliantly over the course of the last few years. In certain years, it's done 40% year on year on year. I don't know what it's going to do going forward. There is uncertainty with AI, but that is not the basis of this decision or any of these decisions. The basis of these decisions is to bank those gains and put them into something that I'm more comfortable with. I'm going to show you the result of that in a minute. So it's 3,379 sold out, £1,122 as a gain, which is pretty good. I'm really happy with that. If I could choose a number of different stocks and they were to do these sort of returns every time, all I do is choose stocks, but I don't profess to be someone that can pick a needle from a haystack. Now here they are, all of these changes that we've made here. So you can see them, all of the purchases that I've done. Realty income, that's a reinvested dividend that I did. There's a 3,400 into the old world. That was a Microsoft purchase. What you've noticed as well is I've bought £100 of physical gold. So I'm changing. I also hold an actual physical gold coin of Britannia, but I want some in my portfolio as well. Very small amount. I don't know what gold's going to do this year. It had a ridiculous year last year. It's probably not going to do the same again. All world purchase there, 200, 2,400. You can see all of these purchases, all of these sales, completely transparent in terms of what I've done. Now, the approach over the last 6 years that's really worked for me is doing this. I don't recommend doing it because it might not be the same going forward, and I'm uncomfortable taking that risk on. However, when you go to the top here, you can see that my realized profit is £9,459. So from the businesses that I've bought and then sold, I've ended up nearly £10,000 up. Now, they are smaller positions versus the size of the portfolio. I've always talked about my personal risk appetite being having a few smaller positions in there, but as a result of that, I've made an extra 10 grand. Now, that's a profit which I've then every single one of them has gone into my old world. Now, if I've got £150,000 in my portfolio and I've got an additional £10,000 banked, that's an extra 7% that I've increased my returns as a result of doing this. However, is that 7% gain worth the risk for me going forward by taking this strategy on? I don't personally think so. Now, what that's done to the portfolio in total then, let's have a look at it over the positions. So the Invesco All World now sits at nearly £92,000. That means it's 60-odd% of my entire portfolio. That's still not high enough for me. I want to get that much higher. My S&P 500 is at £40,000. So between the two, we're up to £130,000 now. So that means only £20,000 is into some of these individual businesses. I've still got Lloyd's. I've still got Legal and General. I've still got Realty Income. I've still got Aviva. I've still got Unilever. Gold has crept in there again with a little £100 position. I'm probably going to add a little bit more to that over my years. Then the only remaining positions are £50 into a RoboPie, which was an experiment I did. I'm going to do a future video on, and Virgin Galactic, which is 90% down. Now I'm still thinking about some of those remaining positions, what to do with. I am comfortable with them at the moment, but I'm thinking about it. Now this is where it comes down to the fact that you shouldn't blindly copy anyone because you don't know when they're going to make changes in their portfolio. Now, I do cover it on here. So that's one of the main reasons why I've made those changes. This is the other. Have a look at this chart. Okay, so this shows the 10 largest positions in the S&P 500 in history. Okay, so if we look 25 years back to 2000, for example, how many of those positions are in the top 10 now? I can only see one, Microsoft. Okay, so the S&P 500 top 10 positions are changing all of the time. Have a look at this across all of the years. Some of them are nowhere near the top 10 anymore. Some of them didn't exist 25 years ago. I don't want to be putting myself in a position where I'm trying to predict what those top 10 positions are going to be in my time horizon. 10, 20, 30 years of investing, it makes it a lot easier for me to just be invested a certain amount into the S&P 500. I've got exposure into those businesses as a result of doing that, and I've got exposure into those businesses as well if the US continues to do well by holding my all world. Now, it just takes some risk out for me. I'm 8 years away now from trying to reach the number I want to reach to attain financial independence. And this, in terms of an approach with banking £10,000 worth of gains, sticking them into the your world, leaving a few individual positions as well, that's the right approach for me. What I'm also actually going to do is have a look at some more, much smaller individual positions that I'm going to have a little play around with, just because I enjoy to do this sort of stuff. It's fun for me. Perhaps I'll do some videos in terms of the research that I do to choose those. I use a number of different websites. Perhaps you can see that. If you've got any interest in that, let me know. So those are the first changes made. I talked about it last week that I was going to be making some big changes. I have made them now, and hopefully that explains why.